One of the questions I get asked often is why the Compassion Collective retreats, and frankly, my work more broadly, is often so focused on high achieving Black women in leadership, women founders. And there are a lot of reasons for that answer. I mean, one is simply that I resonate with so many of their experiences because I am also a Black woman. Part of it is that I recognize that as a Black woman therapist, I'm kind of a unicorn. There's not that many of us out there when you look at the larger pool of therapists and coaches who are available. And so I feel a little bit of a drive, a desire to meet the needs of women who often are struggling to find the care that they need and find, people to work with who look like them, understand some of their experiences. But there's another reason. And, a big part of it is rooted in our ideas about success. Culturally, as a society, we have really been sold this idea that with success will come peace. And over my 20 years, I have worked with clients from all walks of life, but I have worked with so many clients for long periods of time where I have watched them reach the pinnacles of their careers. I have watched them reach these points that maybe they never thought they would get to, or that they dreamed of, or that they have surpassed those goals. And yet, they are burnt out. They are depleted. Their lives are not as satisfying as they were led to believe they would be if they just checked all the boxes. And part of it is that we have this idea that if you were just successful enough, then there is no burnout, then there is no stress, then there is, all of these things just magically go away. Now, I do want to pause and be really clear. If you are struggling financially, if you are feeling the weight of simply paying your bills, meeting your basic needs, that is real. Having more wealth, having access to more resources will in fact make your life better. I don't ever want to portray that, it's all just inner work and magic. Like, no, we also live very real, very practical lives in a real life world that requires money and resources and access to those things. And so if we're moving beyond the need for basic needs to be met, because that is crucial, that's step one. If we move into this other place where we're not worried about is the rent going to be paid, but that difference between kind of, I'm doing fine, I'm doing good, to I'm doing great by these societal standards. There is this messaging that the further along you go in success, the less likely you are to experience things like burnout, the less likely you are to feel unfulfilled. And the reality is that that is not true. Burnout does not disappear simply because there is more money in your bank account, or more letters behind your name, or hundreds of thousands of followers on social media, or that magical title you always wanted, or the husband, or the kids, or the car, or whatever feels like success. Burnout is both a emotional and physical and spiritual experience. And to recover from that requires much more than simply checking some boxes of material or objective success. But so often no one talks about that. And so for so many, particularly women of color who reach these levels, there is less and less empathy for the experience. But I want us to shine a light on that. I want us to talk about the realities of burnout and that success is not going to save you. But there are things that will. Self-compassion, devotion to self, communal care. These are some of the things that I really devote my work to helping other people cultivate in their lives. These are the solutions, not just because in theory it sounds nice, but because I have helped other people walk this path, and because I have walked this path. I am walking this path. These are the things that will sustain you, and you deserve support to figure out how to do that, to figure out how to move forward, how to get out of burnout, that it does require somatic practice. It might require some talk therapy. It might require some very practical coaching strategies about how you manage your time differently, set different boundaries, call in different kinds of friends and romantic relationships to support your thriving. And you deserve a place that is going to honor that. And so that's really some of the understanding, if you want it. Why do I work the way that I work? And why do I focus on the kinds of clients that I focus on? It's because you deserve a safe space. You deserve a place to land that feels soft and that feels like it understands that your burnout does not go away simply because you finally made it.